Okay, first time we're going to take this standard right here. Slopes and rates of change, standard 4. Graph the equation using tables. Y is equal to 4 times x minus 1. Now I want to use it says the strategy to use an input-output table. So what this means is I simply am going to parenthesize the x and I'm going to input these values for it. So I have negative 4. Then I'm going to multiply by 0. And then I'm going to subtract 1. So I got negative 1. So if x is 0, y is negative 1. I put 1 in. So negative 4 times 1 minus 1 gives me negative 5. Okay, now I'm going to put 2 in for x. So negative 4 times 2 minus 1 is negative 9. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Subtract 1, negative 9. Now remember, this is the x, this is y. You're automatically going to fail if you can't get that right. Okay, so 0, negative 1. I stay at 0 on the x, and I go down 1. And that's where 0, negative 1 would be. 1, negative 5. I go right 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2, negative 9. So I go to 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and the points all line up. So I go ahead and make my line. Make sure the line goes through the whole graph, please. And this is continuous, so I put arrows on both ends. And there it is. And on the line, that equation is y equals negative 4x minus 1. Okay, graph the equation using x and y intercepts. Now, we're not going this equation, the x and the y are on the same side, so that is in standard form. Okay? If the x and y are on the same side. So the way to graph it would be to use the xy table with 2 points. And I'm going to put 0 in for x in this point, and then this point is going to have 0 in for y. So I write that equation down twice. 2x plus negative 3y, if it's minus, equals negative 6. 2x plus negative 3y equals negative 6. Okay, so if I have an x of 0, we can get rid of the 2x, because 2 times 0 would be 0. And I divide both sides by negative 3. And negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2. Okay, now if y is 0, we can go ahead and eliminate the y term with the because negative 3 times 0 is 0. And then I can divide both sides by 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Okay, so 0, 2. This is x, this is y. So x is 0, y is 2. So I stay and go up 2. And that's where 0, 2 is at. And then negative 3 for x, 0 for y, go left 3. So negative 3, 0 is that. Okay, so I only have 2 points, but that's good enough. I can make the line out of it. And put arrows on both ends. And because it's continuous. Okay, graph the equation using slopes and y-intercepts. So here the y is by itself, and I have x being operated with a negative 3/4 as the multiplier and a 2 being added. So that is in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I'm going to write slope and y-intercept. Slope is m, y-intercept is b. Okay, so we got mx and b. So the slope is negative 3/4, it's a ratio. And the y-intercept is positive 2, and that's a coordinate with 0. Okay, so let's graph this first. So don't move sideways at all. It's not right here. It's on the y-axis. That's why it's called the y-intercept. Then I go up 2, so 0, 2. Then from that point, I'm going to go down 3, 4 to the right. So down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I don't need those second and third ones labeled with coordinates. Okay, you can if you want. Okay, now this is not a continuous graph. I do have arrows, but we have a domain restriction. So it's a discrete graph. So I go to -2 on the x line. Okay. And then I go up till I connect with my line and I make a point. It's either straight up or straight down. Now, the right is greater than. The left is less than. So what sign do I have in the domain? I have the less sign, so I only want the part of the line that goes to the left. Okay. I can eliminate that point. Okay. I don't need you to do the range, but if you did, it'd be y, and then you're at this point here. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's kind of in between 3.5. You'd have y and 3.5, and it goes up from there, and that would be greater than or equal to 3.5. But that's not going to be required on the test. You do need to cut the line, though. Okay, graph the equation x equals -4. So this is a single variable graph. Okay, single variable. So I want to make a table. And there's going to be, let's do 3 points. X is -4, so all of the x's are always at -4. Now y is not even in this equation, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. This is the x, this is the y. So -4, 1, I go left 4, up 1. -4, 2, I go left 4, up 2. -4, 3, I go left 4, up 3. I go ahead and make my line. It is straight vertical. Now, if it's the y variable, then you put the value, the constant value in for y, and the x should be 1, 2, 3. Okay, tell whether or not the point is a solution for the given equation. -7x minus 4y equals 1. So it always goes x, y. So you need to empty out your variables and replace them with empty parentheses so that you can insert -3 for x and -5 for y. So the -7, -3 have a multiplication operator. The -3 and the 4 have a minus. I'm not big on minus, so I'm going to go plus negative. -4, -5 would be a multiplication. So I find these products first. So that's positive 21, and that's positive 20. So 21 plus 20 is 41. Well, that's not equal to 1, so you need to write no. Okay. All right, calculate the slope of a line containing the following points, -2, 4, and 4, 6. Okay, so when x is -2, y is 4. When x is 4, y is 6. So the formula to find the slope is y minus y, x minus x. Okay, so my y values are here. You can go 3 minus 6 or 6 minus 3. I'll do 6 minus 3. That's a little more natural. But if I go 6 minus 3, then I have to go 4 minus -2. So 4, -2. If I'm subtracting a negative number, I'm going to make it plus plus. So that's 3, and that's 6. Now, you need to see if that reduces. And the way to reduce fractions is 3, ABC, 6. It could stay the same. It could reduce down. If you get the U, you go second, ABC equals. So the U means it's a mixed number. This one's not going to be. Whenever the numerator is smaller, it should work out. That's a half. So 1/2 is the slope, which makes sense. You can divide them both by 3 to get down to 1/2. Okay, then word problems. I'm buying Snickers bags and Butterfinger bags for Halloween. Snickers bags cost $4 each, while Butterfinger bags cost $3 each. I end up spending $77. I buy 11 Butterfinger bags. How many Snicker bags? So we have 3 units. We have the Snickers, we have the Butterfingers, and we have our money. So that's 3 units. So the line construction is not going to be used here. I'm going to make this table here. And the 2 things I'm buying go on top. So Snickers, Butterfingers, and then together. Then how many? Money for a single. And the money for a, or the dollars per, okay? Per and total money. Okay, up here has nothing to do with money. These are for non-money quantities. So the only non-money quantity I have is 11. That's Butterfinger bags. Okay, so I don't need the together portion of that. I don't know how many Snickers, so that's X, because that's the answer to the problem. Okay, now this is all about money. By the way, you want to put your total here at $77. Sorry, I should have done that before I did up here. And I cross that out. I'm going to cross 11 out too. Okay, now I look for Christ. $4 is for Butterfingers, or for Snickers, my bad. And the Butterfingers are 3. So, for the total cost, well, I don't know how many Snickers, but I know they're $4 each, so the expression 4x will suffice there. 11 times 3 would be 33, and then equals, and those are being added. So, it's plus 33, so I'm going to minus 33. That's going to give me 4x equals 44, and I divide by 4, and I get 11. So I bought 11 of each. 11 bags of Snickers, 11 bags of Butterfingers. Okay, the number 8. An airplane is in the air when it begins acceleration upward. After 5 seconds, the plane is 2,500 feet above the ground, and after 8 seconds, the plane is 3,400 feet above the ground. Calculate the airplane's average rate of change in feet per second. So you're finding the feet per second. So you're like, oh, I just divide, but here's a problem. There's 2 combinations. 2,500 divided by 5 and 34 divided by 8. Now, the problem is it says it's constant, but when I divide, these aren't equal. So I need to use my minus over minus, and it's feet. So the feet, I have 2,500 and I have 3,400. So let's take, you can subtract in any order. I'll take 3,400 minus 2,500. Okay. Then the seconds would be 5, or if I go 3,400, it's with 8. So I got to put 8 directly below the 3,400 and then 5 below that. So I subtract there, I get 900. I subtract there, I get 3. And 900 divided into 3 is 300. So 300 feet per second is the answer.